When we don't retain when our hands are open, not holding on to anything. There is a relaxation. So for the duration of this meeting, you don't need to hold on to anything. You don't need to remember anything. You don't need to get anywhere. Simply celebrate the simplicity of presence, the effortlessness of presence. Let your experience be just what it is. Don't give a darn about it, how you're feeling, the thoughts that are coming through your mind. Let it all be just as it is. To be completely indifferent to anything which is appearing to you. Let the past be what it is, completely absent. Let the future be what it is, completely absent. You don't need to do anything. Nothing at all. Nothing that you need to know. Forget about your past achievements. All the past experiences. Every moment is a fresh moment. Never experienced before. And never experienced again. You have no name. You have no form. Thoughts appear to you. As they appear, they dissolve in you. Sensations, images. You try to hold on to them and they're gone. It's nothing to hold on to. And you have no hands to hold on to anything. You are not located anywhere. You perceive. You are aware. Your entire reality is awareness. The history of your body and the history of your mind are just that. Scripts on a piece of paper, a narrative. A movie on the screen. Because the body and the mind, they are a movie on the screen. They're perceived. They are paintings. You are the creator. You are the artist. You are that which does not appear on the screen. You do the best you can with the body, with the mind, but you don't need to identify yourself with the body, with the mind, with various states of mind. Because identification is not real. There is no reality to it outside of your imagination. No matter how hard you try to pin yourself down as somebody. You are not a somebody. Life is your playground. It does not define you in any way. Look at the ocean, how playful it is. Waves crashing on the ocean, on the shore. Bubbles and such creativity. The mind is just a movement, not a problem that you need to solve or fix. A flow of thoughts and perceptions and sensations. You don't know what you are. And that's perfect not to know. Simply be, not knowing. Because being is, there is no way around it. But being is not limited. We don't know any limitations to being. We don't know any limitations to awareness. That is our true experience, where we don't know. Such freedom in not knowing. Is rejoicing in not knowing. You don't need to compare and analyze and judge and measure, and evaluate. Except if you work in quality control, some factory or some company. Otherwise, you don't need to continue to evaluate and measure and judge. What is it that we are evaluating and measuring? Because thoughts, they move. They don't exist, appear and disappear. But you are that which neither appears nor disappears. There's no way around it. Allow the universe to universe itself, whichever way it chooses to, in your body, in your mind, in your environment. Because it is possible for you to understand that you are not in the world, of the world. You're not in the mind or of the mind. They appear to you, you being the freedom. You being the perceiver. Nothing that you need to do, but you're welcome to do whatever you like to do. But nothing that you need to do. Everything that you do, you choose. You choose it as reality, as consciousness. You don't choose it as a personal chooser. Because you don't personally choose your thought. But yet your thought is yours. It's not somebody else's. Yours as what? What is it that you are? What is it that right now perceives? That has no name, that is unborn. You cannot go with a flashlight looking for the sun. You cannot use thought in order to discover awareness. Because the thought is perceived, appears in awareness, but it does not perceive awareness. But you know you are aware. You know that you are. Whatever that is, you don't need to know. It doesn't matter. But you know you are. Presence is. You look around, you don't find any borders to presence. To remain not knowing, being not knowing. I am, and I know that I am, without adding any qualificative, without adding, I am a male, a female, I am this or that. Because you are not this nor that. You may perceive this, you may perceive that. But why define yourself via something that you perceive? No need to. Consciousness, awareness is the shining light. The essence. The noumenal, the non-phenomenal reality. Creative. Aware. As soon as you imagine yourself existing in time and space, you're playing a different game. the game of limitation, the game of separation. You are nameless. That's so perfect. Any questions?
Hello, Magdi. Can you hear me? It's Anastasia.
Yes. Hello, Anastasia.
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't put my camera on because I'm already in my bed. I'm in France, so it's quite late.
Okay.
Thank you for this meditation. It was really beautiful. And this last days, I was kind of on a sort of emotional roller coaster. So it was a very eventful weekend. I had friends visiting and we were celebrating birthdays. And I was really excited and there was a lot of joy and celebration. But then after some time I was tired and today I was kind of low, a bit down. Yes, there was this low energy. And it kind of made me realize that this is the part of this kind of human experience when sometimes we are high and then the next day we are down and then probably the next day it's high again and then it's down again. And I just feel that I wanna get off this roller coaster and to be more stable in this space of peace where things just flow through me without affecting me so much. So maybe if you have some insights or if you can guide me off this roller coaster.
Yes. So the peace is not so much in bringing the roller coaster to stop or to be a steady state roller coaster. The peace is in a different place. So it's the peace of being, the peace of awareness, the peace of presence. What disturbs the peace is not the activities in the world or the tiredness of the body, or sometimes there is a celebration, the family gets together and there's a lot of going back and forth and talking and whatever activities. And then after that, it feels like when everybody leaves, it feels like or we're exhausted or we feel like some sort of emptiness in contrast to the activity. That's not what disturbs the peace. What disturbs the peace is being limited, being separate, feeling and believing that things should be different, for example, that I would be happier if things were different. And if I was having a different experience. What disturbs the peace is that I, inside, when we say, I would like things to be different, what we are referring to by I. When we are referring to I as the person, as a Anastasia, as a woman, as a body mind, irrespective of what's happening in the world, there is already a sense of limitation and separation that is easily triggered. It's there, sort of like in the background, and it's easily triggered by situations. Maybe somebody tells us they don't like us and we get, or we have an expectation and the expectation is not fulfilled. We get agitated, we get upset, we feel betrayed. So the understanding is that, and you have to see it for yourself, that whenever you assume yourself to be a separate self, a person, whenever you identify yourself with a character in your thoughts, character in your imagination, you become, you have the experience of your vulnerability, that something may happen to you, something can affect you.
Yeah.
But nothing affects awareness, you see. Awareness, the reality that perceives, the reality that is right now, your reality. Your reality is not a female reality. It's not a phenomenal reality. What you are, what the reality that hears these words, the reality that knows that it is not a female reality. It's truly what you are. Is not the body, the mind, things that appear to you. Things that appear to you, they affect the body. Maybe if you are hungry and there is no food, not enough food, the body will experience that. If you party too much, the body will feel tired, or if you drink too much, the body will be affected, the mind will be affected. So what gets affected is the body and the mind. But when you are not identified with the body and with the mind, you're just viewing. It's like your car. You may have a car that needs some oil change. It's not running good. It's making a sound, poof, 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 poof. It needs an oil change, for example. But you are not identified with the car. So what do? You take the car to the mechanic. If you see the gauge of the fuel gauge is low, you take the car to the gas station, you put some fuel in it. But you're not identified with your car. You're not proud of my car, and you're not feeling that you are the car. Of course, you take care of the car. You take care of Anastasia, the body. You take care of your family, your work, your responsibilities, the responsibility of the body, mind. But the identification is the issue, Anastasia. What really upsets you is the identification.
And so in order not to identify, is just to remind myself as often as possible that I'm not this Anastasia female body living this experience, or
no, only when you're experiencing unhappiness, then you can take a look. Why am I unhappy right now? Because I want things to be different. What is it that wants things to be different? Anastasia. Well, sometimes it makes sense to want things to be different. Sometimes it's practical. I want to go buy some groceries because there is no food in the refrigerator. Makes sense. I'm talking psychologically. You don't need to keep reminding yourself, oh, I am not the body, I'm not the body, I'm not the body. It becomes like a mantra. No. Simply to notice what is the root cause of your upsetness. What is the root cause of your unhappiness? You have to see it. When somebody says, well, I don't like you, and you are not identified with the you, with the me. Somebody says, I don't agree with you, but you are not identified with your point of view. Then instead of saying, oh, I don't like you because you don't agree with me, I may ask, really, what is your opinion? You see, so maybe I can understand something about the other person's opinion. So you only need to take care of the car when you notice the fuel gauge is down. You don't need to, every time you're driving, you're looking at the fuel gauge, as a metaphor. No, but there will be a light, a red light that catches your attention. Then you look, say, oh, the fuel gauge is low. But as a metaphor in terms of your life, when you are unhappy, you're angry, you're jealous, you're sad, you're depressed, then you can take a look and you will notice that at that moment, you are identifying yourself with a limited form.
And seeing it at this moment, like I'm seeing now, it's very clear. And also during the meditation, it was clear. It's actually enough.
Yes. In seeing, there is an end of, so there is the activity of identification. When you see the identification, at that moment, there is no identification. At that moment, there is seeing. There is presence, there is awareness.
Yes.
You don't need to worry about later. Or you don't need to regret the past.
That's a difficult one for some reason.
When
there is kind of this internal judge that is evaluating all actions and giving suggestions and judgments. And I know it's just the voice, it's just the habit, like a mechanism that is there, pattern that was there since a long time.
Well, when there is a judgment, a self-judgment or judgment of another, at that moment, we are going into the past.
Yeah.
Because you need some memory in order to judge. In the moment, there is no judgment. You need to go to the past to judge. You need to have an image, how things should be, how things were, how I am, how they are. So you have to go into the mind, into thought. So that has nothing to do with presence. And when you do judgment, inside of you, you are feeling opposition. It's inside of you. Oh, she was so stupid. She did this and that, and she keeps doing the same thing, whatever. It's all happening inside of you, right?
Yes.
So inside of you, you have the two opposing forces. And the battle is inside of you. And is not very good for your health. It's not good. It is not good for anything because it's an internal unnecessary conflict. Unnecessary conflict. Because it has nothing to do with reality. It is strictly in your own inner mind. You follow?
Yeah.
And you feel, oh, it's important for me to judge them because I will be better. It's a good thing for me to do. But that's not true. How could an inner conflict inside of you be a good thing to do? No. The opposite is better. Peace is better inside of you than inner conflict. Is normal. The peace is better. So as a shorthand, all judgment is bullshit, is unhealthy. You know, like a rule of thumb is no judgment, no self-judgment, no judgment of the other, because it's all internal to you. The other,
the judgment, yeah.
I'm sorry?
If the judgment appears, just seeing it as not paying attention. I mean, most of the time it's self-judgment. So it's just this inner voice that's, it's just mechanical.
Yes. So it doesn't help to judge the judgment, you know, to judge yourself for judging. It's like double, you know, boom, then boom, boom, you know, no. If you notice there is judgment, boom, you notice. There is noticing. There is awareness. And in awareness, there is intelligence. The wisdom of awareness. Noticing. Because when you notice, there is a discontinuity in the judgment. There is a judgment, pum, 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 pum. Noticing, there's a discontinuity in the judgment. There's a discontinuity.
Yeah.
A collapsing of the judgment. So you don't need to set yourself a goal. Oh, I'm going to become non-judgmental. No, you don't need to set yourself a goal. Simply to understand that judgment, self-judgment or judgment of the other is not loving. There's no love in judgment. That's understanding. Right? That's sufficient. You understand that. There's no, you don't make yourself a goal. You live not knowing, open, like a flower. It doesn't know how it's opening, you know, it's the sun, the wind, the earth, then the flower blooms. It doesn't know. So you are like the flower. You don't know. But you don't need to know. It's different if you don't know, and I need to know. There is a pressure. Oh, I need to know. There's a pressure. No, I don't know, and it's beautiful. The blooming of the flower is a not knowing. Is not knowing. Is the blooming. You see, like when you are creating. When you're creating something you don't know, if you are a musician or you're an artist, in the moment, something arises to you. It arises to you. And you start to express in the moment. As it's arising, there is an expression of the arising. A creative creation.
Yes, and probably the key also is, as you were saying, it's really being in the moment, because in the moment, if I'm really present, there is no past or future.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, you are the moment. You are never, in fact, you're never in the past or in the future, right?
Yeah.
A memory appears to you of your mother or, you know, your grandmother, a memory of the past. But this memory, it's a thought that appears to you in the moment. It's always in the moment. Our experience is always a moment, in the moment, not in time, not in time. Our experience is always fresh, brand new, like brand new. Every moment is fresh. You see, we are not traveling in time like this. Tick, 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 tick. No, we're not doing that. We are presence, awareness. We perceive thoughts, we perceive images, sensation. We can sense the heartbeat. We can sense the body temperature, the warmth, always in the moment. But we don't exist in time.
Mm.
The body exists in time. 10-year-old body, 20-year-old body, 30-year-old body, blah, blah, blah. But you, the reality, your awareness, you never exist in time. Because time is, it appears to you. You perceive a feeling of time, or you perceive a memory. Oh, this happened before that. Thought A happened before, or event A happened before event B. It appears to you, but you, the awareness, is not appearing before. It isn't like an awareness A appearing before awareness B. You follow?
Yeah.
So don't set yourself a task to get better or to solve any problems, because then you never finish. There are always more and more and more problems. Don't set yourself any task. Simply
So just being.
Allow the moment to surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
Allow life to surprise you. And you will respond, depending on how things appear to you. You respond fresh in the moment you respond.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Magdi.
Okay, let's touch that. Questions?
Magdi,
Yes.
hi.
Hello, Nathan.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for a stunning, wonderful meditation, and also this talk with the previous person. Something a bit similar. I feel a lot of sorrow, a lot of pain about what's going on in the war in Ukraine. It's kind of comes back to me in waves. I read the news, and there's a depth of feeling of sorrow, of all the lives that are lost. And I know that it's on a certain level, it just things as they appear. But still, there is a kind of feeling that there's still feeling of loss and sadness and sorrow. So it's almost like on a global feeling. I don't know we know that in this presence is something that is not affected. This reality is not affected. That people's bodies appear and disappear.
What else is there outside of reality?
There's nothing. There's just reality.
So, yeah, there are no other options. There isn't the absolute and the relative. There isn't. We use this language. We say there is the absolute reality and the relative being mind. But they are not two. Like the sun and the rays of the sun and the reflection of the sunshine on the surface of the pond. They're not 2 or 3 or 10 or 1,000 things. You and your dreams, you, the dreamer of your dreams, and your dreams, you, the dreamer of the dreams, and the dreams, and all the characters in your dreams, and all the events that occur in your dreams that you perceive, they are not 2, 3, or 1,000 or 1,000,000. It's one. The characters in your dream and you, the dreamer, are one. You create them, perceive them, dissolve them moment by moment. That's mass murder. You're creating every night all sorts of people that you're creating and killing, dissolving them. You wake up in the morning, where are they? They're nowhere to be found. This is true. This is truth. This is a fact. When you look at reality and you contemplate, you examine, you explore what is it that is real, you will come sooner or later to the understanding that reality is noumenal, that the reality of the world, of the bodies, of the minds, of thoughts, of the brains, of the white cells, the reality of the cosmos, the reality of galaxies, is one reality. It's not divided in 10 million things, or the 10,000 things like some people say. There are no things. This is not a, how do you say, a tale. You know, it's not a story. You know, non-duality is not one more philosophy among many other philosophies. No. So, of course, it makes sense to stick to your highest understanding. You are on the top of the mountain. You perceive the entire world. And then, of course, you act in your world, the limited world that appears to you, the limited mind of the body mind called Nathan, in any way you wish. Of course, the understanding that it is all myself, it is all oneself, one reality, will lead you to act out of compassion, out of friendship, out of love. But it's not a mission. It's not, there is, you can act, but do not act out of the belief that there is something truly at stake or something you must save. Because there is nothing outside of yourself. This does not mean that in this waking dream, we don't act in all sorts of loving ways and compassionate ways. No, of course we do. Compassion is an aspect of consciousness because it's one passion. It's a recognition of everything as this one reality. So why play the game of this is my toy, don't play with my toy. This is mine, it is not yours. Why play this unfriendly game? We like to play the game of friendship and sharing and playing together and, you know, like when we are children. So we become like children again. But it's not like a mission. Oh, I must be a nice guy today I feel that people are suffering and I must save them. Of course, that can arise for you. Oh, people are suffering. Let me see what I can do, you know, to alleviate their suffering. Yes, you can do that, but not at the price, not at the cost of peace and happiness, meaning not at the cost of understanding. And the understanding is that ignorance is God's choice. It's not an accident. It's not, oh my God, look what the human beings have done. Human beings have done nothing because human beings don't decide. I am not deciding the words that I'm speaking right now. We're not deciding the temperature or the weather. We're not deciding the heartbeat. We're not deciding the thoughts that are appearing to us. We're not deciding the actions that we are doing. We are an instrument as a body-mind. The body-minds are an instrument, a playful instrument in the hands of the master, like a Play-Doh. We are Play-Doh characters that running around. We are some sort of simulated intelligence, you know, a artificial intelligence, robotic forms, you know, cellular robots, you know, biological robots. That's what the body minds are. This is what the brain is. It's just some very sophisticated configuration of I don't know what that operates in a very, very sophisticated manner. But it's not, consciousness doesn't belong to the body. It's consciousness of the body, consciousness of a thought, awareness of a certain sensation. But the sensation, I mean, the body, bundle of sensations and thoughts is not conscious. The thought is not conscious. There is consciousness of a thought, awareness of a certain memory. But a memory is not aware. A cell is not aware. You see, there is a degree of sentience to various forms. It's a spread in the sensuous aspect of forms, but there is no awareness to sentient forms. Sentience does not signify awareness. So, you know, back to your question, you know, the human model, meaning our body-mind experience, if you study it through history, it is made out of war and peace. I mean, of course, we're just dealing with our current situation. But war and peace is part of the ebb and flow of life. Because ignorance is an aspect, one of the aspects of our experience, of the human experience. And of course, the understanding is what heals ignorance, or what dissolves ignorance. Understanding about consciousness, about reality, dissolves ignorance. But you shouldn't make out of ignorance like a bad guy, that there is something bad going on. Because if you really think about it, in a few 100,000 years or million years, I don't know, this whole planet Earth will be scorched by the sun. What do you think of that? How about that war? You know, how about that? Wait a minute, that's a big thing, you know. But you say, okay, it has nothing to do with ignorance because it's a sort of an event, a cosmic event, you know. But so is ignorance. Ignorance is also a cosmic event because our thoughts are cosmic events. They're vibrations. They're our brain activity and the universe are interconnected, right?
Yeah.
So the universe is thinking, you know, as a metaphor. It's thinking. It's not so much a metaphor, it's true. It's the universe that thinks. I don't think. No. Awareness perceive. I perceive, but not only I perceive, I also create because everything that I perceive not in time. I don't perceive in time. So it's in the eternity, in the timeless, in the timelessness. Creation and perception are one. Creation, perception, and dissolution are one. This is true art. It's inspiration. It's not in time. You see. So you have to take a look at that, Nathan, not to fall in the, you know, give a reality to the illusion. No, you act in the world, but you are not in the world. You act in the world like you take care of your car, you know, you do your best. Sometimes you charge the battery, Sometimes you have to throw the battery in the recycling and buy a new battery, right? You can't have the same battery. I don't know, it's too much of a cost, but so that's how it is. Okay, next battery, you know.
Yes, I understand.
Don't vilify ignorance. Don't make it a bad guy. Don't make yourself an enemy of ignorance. Simply, you're interested in understanding. That's all. You have no choice because you love understanding. You love truth. You have no choice. God wants that, and God is that.
Just kind of an inner acceptance as well.
I'm sorry?
The inner acceptance that this is.
It's more of an understanding. You know, the world unfolds the way it unfolds, you know. We don't know how it unfolds. We think we know, but it's more true that we don't know. We don't know is more true than we know.
Yeah. Yes.
So we don't know how the world unfolds, and it's okay. We don't need to know.
Yeah, there is actually a relief when you spoke about it like this, about this not knowing, because it's kind of opens it completely, and there's no this at stake, and this torment it goes away. There's a beauty in it. Yes.
Yeah. It's in not knowing is more truth. It's true, more true than knowing. Because the mind is wired to protect the body, you know, sort of there's a snake, or you need to know the snake can be venomous. There's a mushroom, you have to know, is it venomous? No. So there is a tendency of the brain to always be watching for safety for the body mind, and but that's at a certain level makes sense. It's part of the organism. It's part of the metabolism. It's not part of. It has nothing to do with consciousness. It has nothing to do with I. So the I is this being not knowing. I am. There is an amness. There is a reality, being. And it's sufficient. It's that which is real. It's complete and whole unto itself. I mean, of course, these are words, I'm just speaking words, but since there is nothing outside of reality. There is nothing outside of reality. And reality is a noumena. And so we are on the ski slope. We're skiing. We don't know how this here. We don't. It's not like we've been there before and again. No, life is just this moment is unfolding. Is unfolding in not knowing. It's bathed with not knowing. And it is playing the game of, I need to know or else. I need to know or else. It's playing the game of, but there is nothing to know. Everything that needs to be known is known. The heart knows how to pump the blood. The sun knows what it does. It's all whatever needs to be known is known. It's already known.
Yeah.
But in fact, there is nobody who knows anything. I'm just speaking in a relative way. I'm saying what is known is known. There's nothing to be known or that needs to be known. There's nothing missing in not knowing. There's something missing in knowing because I may not know enough. I need to know the next thing, 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 unending.
Yeah. Now that you speak, and I feel this presence so strongly that it's absolutely beyond the words, and there's nothing missing there. It's just totally now and present. And I want to thank you very much for this. Thank you. Thank you, Magdi.
Any questions?
Thank you so much, Magdi. Thank you. I appreciate. If you elaborate on something that Francis always talks about, recognizing to our true essence, so we don't forget it, like the ignorance takes over fast. I really appreciate. Thank you.
We enjoy the game of ignorance. We love to gossip. We love to rehash, to go over the past again and again and again. We love to entertain thoughts about ourselves, and we go over our past and we keep talking about our future and our children, our family. It's the dance of life, But unhappiness, unhappiness is the price we pay when we fall into the game, when we overlook that it's the game. We fall into the trap of the game, and then we are unhappy. So we have to understand that happiness is consciousness, is being. Being is happiness, is freedom. There is no identity in being, no personal identity whatsoever. It's like a river, it just flows. But it is not calling itself the Colorado River or the Nile or something like that. We call the river, oh, this is the Colorado River, this is the Mississippi River. But the river has no name. You have no name. But then we say, oh, this is Roya, this is Magdi, this is... But you have no name. You are like the river, you flow. You are flow. And you are the stillness, the presence. When you realize the presence, the stillness, then the flow doesn't disturb you. It amuses you. Because you like to play. You are the creative element, the creator. You love to create. Even when you go to sleep, you like to dream. You create. But you can understand that you are not created. You are not something that you perceive. Because what you perceive is created. It has a beginning and ending. Any perception, any sensation, any thought, it's a beginning and an ending. It appears to you. But you don't appear. There's freedom in that, in the understanding. You don't need to free yourself from the dream. No. Why? It's fun. It's creative. You need to come to the understanding. You don't need to, but why not? You could. So you are not disturbed, like if a river comes onto big boulders, it's not disturbed by the boulders. It flows around. Or a waterfall, it falls down. It's not disturbed. There's always the identity that is disturbed. I am somebody. I have a position. I'm defending something. No, not what you need to defend. Don't defend anything. Don't make an image of yourself, image of your life, image of your intelligence, image of whatever. No, they're images. You defend images, which are only in the past or in the future. You project images in the future. They have nothing to do with happiness, with beauty, with love, with creativity. You cannot create something from the past. What sort of, you're repeating the same old. Creation is in the moment. It's fresh. You don't know what's coming, what's happening. Boom. It's appearing to you the moment. You don't know. It surprises you. But it's not that you must accomplish something. No. You don't need to accomplish. You're done. It's all done. You are perfection itself. You don't need to become somebody or achieve something or accomplish something or prove something to yourself, to your family, to God, to whatever. No. We have inherited the virus of ignorance from our society, our parents, their fears, their worries, their concerns. You must do this, you must become like that, you must accomplish this, is their fears, which they pass them on to us. But now we pass on the wisdom. We say, no. I am this transparent presence. And that presence is not a female or a male presence. No, that's reality. Body, they appear and disappear. You ask yourself, where is the 12-year-old girl that I was? Remember the 12-year-old beautiful sweetheart you were, 12-year-old? Where is that 12-year-old girl? Nowhere to be found, nowhere. There's a body, mind, thoughts. You ask yourself, what is the thought I had yesterday or 5 minutes ago? Nowhere to be found. But what you can count on is this transparent awareness that you never experience it changing or becoming less or more or getting an older consciousness or older awareness. No, this is not true. So in this moment, you are already this. You are already that. You are that reality, not different. There are no different realities. There isn't like more reality, less reality. You are that infinite, invisible reality. You see, there's nothing you need to do. It's less doing. Enjoy, celebrate, live freshly, not knowing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magdi.
Okay. Thank you all. I will leave the meeting on in case people want to chat. Very lovely to be with you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.